Hello everyone, this is Dr. Barnes giving another tutorial video, this time on our course schedule. Let me go ahead and click into that and bring that up. There are a couple of different ways to get to this. I just use the full screen method and I click right in there. On this course schedule, the first thing that stands out to you, and I've highlighted this, is I want you to be mindful that there are some mid-week deadlines. Normally, your homework will be due on a Sunday evening at midnight or 11:59 p.m. However, there are some interactions that involve due dates during the midweek, and those interactions are basically discussion boards. So let's scroll down and take a look at week one. A couple of things that you're going to see here is that normally I'll have the weekly learning module open on a Saturday in the morning. Then you've got that full weekend to do it, plus the full week, and it closes up the next weekend on a Sunday. So you have 2 full weekends to normally do your homework. And anything that's due during the week, so for example, we have a get to know you discussion board in Blackboard. That's due on Wednesday, June the 6th. So anything that's due midweek, I have created it on the course schedule to look just like this, that it shows you, hey, it's due midweek, here's the due date. Because there's about 3 of those, and I don't want you to miss out on getting your points. After you watch my short videos on Blackboard syllabus schedule and OneNote, you're going to be taking quizzes just to make sure that you understand my expectations of you and any expectations that you might have of me. All that information's in there. Those are all done in Blackboard, and those are underneath of the weekly learning module week 1. Then we're going to be looking at a research topic paper. There, underneath of the weekly learning modules, under week 1, you will see the information for your research topic. You are going to pick the topic and then you're going to start drafting it. And I'll get more into that in just a second. And then we're going to go ahead and actually get you registered for MyLab IT. That's where you're going to be doing the bulk of your homework this summer. And so we are going to start off with Word. So for Word, you're going to read the chapter, do the simulation, and then do the project. I do have lectures for each of the projects except for week 1. I'd like for you to try to do this on your own, and it's really easy. It's Word, it's not rocket science. And then the rest of the summer, I have created lecture videos. By the way, my lecture videos are not required. They're just there as an extra resource if you need help, because you don't have me face to face. This is an online course. Week 2, we've got, again, we're going to be looking at Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 for Word. Those are all in MyLab IT. Then you have another piece of homework, which is learning how to create a table of contents, which is in Word. And then we're going to start practicing our training to set for that Microsoft Office Word certification. There will be another tutorial video in a different spot in Blackboard for geometrics. But just for the record, geometrics is an interactive learning tool that's computerized, and it is set up exactly like your final would be set up. I've heard some students say, oh my gosh, geometrics was actually a little bit more challenging than the actual Microsoft Office final. But either way, it's a great resource, and you are welcome to do more than what I'm requiring you to do here. In fact, in the video, I'll walk you through a little bit more of the instructions. Your research paper outline is due week 2. That goes along with your research topic. So you're going to pick a topic, something in business that you want to write about that interests you. Then you're going to do an outline. And then we're going to move to week 3, and your rough draft is due. So also in week 3, we have, we're starting Excel, and then you're going to work on a budget. That's some of your homework in regards, and also a greater project. Then you're going to start chapter 2. Then we have another practical uses, or blog, another blog, if you will, discussion board, which is due mid-week. So be mindful of that. This practical uses is in regards to Excel. Week 4, you're taking your Word final. You will be practicing the geometrics up until week 4, and you're going to go over during week 4 and set for your MOS certification. So that's in week 4. We're finishing up Excel with chapter 3, and I've given you some extra homework, a capstone and a credit card expense homework, and then you're going to start that geometrics training this week in regards to Excel. Now, your research paper that you've also been working on, we're going to do some proofreading. So after you've gotten your rough draft done, you're going to submit your research paper proof, and that'll go on to Blackboard in the discussion tab. And then I'm going to pair you up into twos, and you're going to proofread each other's papers and look for spelling or grammatical errors and kind of help each other out that way. Next, in week 5, we're moving on to Outlook and Access. For Outlook, there really isn't any homework. We're just going to go back to geometrics and use one training and one exam. That's it. But I will tell you, there's some challenges with this regarding Outlook because you actually have to have an Outlook account. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But we, in the past, always, every semester, have some challenges with students trying to complete that. If that happens, I want you to be aware that if you come to campus, you won't have any problems, and we have plenty of labs in Nampa, Canyon County, and here in Ada, where my office is, for you to actually sit down and to get that done. And then again, we are starting Access this week, and keep practicing your Excel. Then your final research paper is due week 5. Next, we have in week 6, Access chapter 2 and 3, and then this isn't necessarily an exam. It is a project like your homework that's done in my IT lab. However, I do have this bolded, and the reason why is because you need to score 70% or more on this Access exam. If you don't, and I'll go through this in the syllabus, but you're able to make that up. I've given you 5 attempts to score 70% or more. And then you're also sitting for your Microsoft Office exam during week 6. By the way, for your Microsoft Office exams for Excel and Word, I've given you 3 free attempts. And actually, you've paid for those through your student fees. So with that said, most students pass on their first attempt for Word, and then it takes them once or twice for Excel. After you've exhausted those 3 free attempts, it's $15.50 per exam. The last 2 weeks are a little bit easier, but there's still some rigor to them. So you will be completing chapters 1 through 3 for PowerPoint. It is not rocket science. Out of all of the Microsoft Office programs, it's the easiest by far, and you're going to blow right through it. So you remember the paper that you were working on and that you completed? That was due back in week 5 to me and Blackboard. So now you're going to take that in week 7 and you're going to create a PowerPoint presentation out of that, and you are going to videotape yourself, just your voice, through a presentation, and you'll learn how to do that in week 7, and so you're going to create that. Then you're going to, in week 8, upload your PowerPoint presentation into Blackboard so that others can see it. And what will happen there is you're going to give some responses, and so we can all see it and view it. And those are pretty cool. When you've got your paper done, you've worked on your research paper for, the first 5 or 6 weeks, and now you're making it into a presentation. It's really exciting, and I get excited to watch students bring those to fruition. So those are due the last week on Thursday. You're also going to be creating a website. This is not rocket science. It's just getting your feet wet. And so I will be providing more instructions in Blackboard as we lead up to the final week. And then, just like for the Access final, there's a PowerPoint final, and it's not a written final, it's just a little project that you're going to be given to create a PowerPoint. This too has to be a 70% or more. All right, that is it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, please use the Ask Dr. Barnes a Question tab located in Blackboard to ask me a question. Good luck on your quiz.